Many times when we have couples come into mediation and we ask them about what criteria they want to use when making determinations about when the children are going to go see mom or dad, or if the children are going to live with mom or dad, many parents surprisingly say, we want to let our child make that decision. When you think about why that might be good or bad, one of the things that we ask our clients to consider is, what is the purpose for asking, what are you trying to accomplish there? And many parents will say, we feel like we need to honor what it is that they want. I find it interesting that when it comes to that particular decision, all of a sudden we're willing to give our kids mounds of freedom in decision making, but we don't extend the same type of freedom when it comes to smaller decisions like whether or not they're going to go to school. Because if you ask a child, do you want to go to school, or do you want to get up early and do chores, and you say to them, we're going to let it be your decision, most of the time they're going to say no. And it's because they gravitate to the path of least resistance, and that's why they're called minors, and that's why we're called parents. And children want to be parented, especially in this decision. While I completely agree that it is important to listen to a child, to allow their input to be part of your decision, I would use a lot of caution in asking a child, where would you like to live? Or would you like to go visit your mom or your dad more or less? The reason for that is, as stated in some of our earlier videos, as a child, they are brutally loyal to both of you. Putting them in any environment where by making one choice, it's going to compromise their loyalty to the other parent can cause devastating results. It's the number one thing that creates stress in a child in a divorce. More than the actual divorce itself, it's the idea that they have to process blame or process that one parent is better than the other, and asking them where they want to live can really do that. Be very, very careful with this decision in letting the child decide that. Children will also gravitate to the bigger, better deal, and the parent that has the pool and the parent that has the nicer house with the puppy and the parent that doesn't require you to do homework will be the oftentimes where the child wants to live. And so asking a child to make a very, very adult decision just based on that criteria alone can sometimes cause problems. If, however, you feel that you and your ex-spouse can communicate at a level where you can approach the child unified and give the child permission to speak freely with no risk of compromising their loyalty, and you were to say something like, we may be making some changes to our parenting time. We very much would like to hear from you, and you need to know that whatever answer you give is not going to hurt mom or dad's feelings. That we will take your information and we will factor that input in to our decision, and we'll get back to you. Now that whole thing takes a huge amount of trust, and you have to be believable, and your child will be smarter than you think. So if you can't do that and be authentic about it, we strongly encourage parents to stay away from letting the children dictate where they're going to live and letting them let the tail wag the dog. They would rather be told by the parents where they're going to go, and letting them have that kind of freedom and that kind of input may come back to bite you later on.